Before I get into my Week 9 review, my Week 10 picks, I just want to go into the whole Nick Foles and Chip Kelly thing. Because it's crystal clear to me now that Chip Kelly doesn't want Nick Foles as the quarterback here. One of the main reasons why I say that is, look at the way Chip Kelly celebrated Mark Sanchiz's touchdowns in the game against the Texans in Houston last week. He was so excited, pumping his fist, running over, cheering. You never saw that type of excitement from him to that level when Nick Foles was throwing touchdowns. I don't know, I just kind of got the suspicion seeing that when I was watching the game on Sunday. I was going, damn, he's fucking excited to have Mark Sanchez in this game. Like, really excited. What's the deal with that? And then the second thing happened. Monday's press conference happened, and a reporter asked him, how'd you feel about Mark Sanchez's play Sunday against the Texans in Houston? And I'm paraphrasing, but Chip Kelly said something along the lines of, he's a good quarterback. He's a guy that can start in this league. He has a quarterback arm, and he's a good all-around quarterback that can get the job done. You never, ever, ever heard Chip Kelly say anything to that extent about Nick Foles. You kind of sort of did, but he often skirted around the issue. Anytime you be questioned, is Nick Foles the starter for years to come? He goes, yeah, if he plays like this and we win games, yeah. It was just kind of just like a covert way of saying, like, you know, I have to play him. Chip Kelly kind of got stuck having to play him because the Eagles kept winning, even this year. Despite, and I know a lot of people out there are going to, like, especially dumbass Dallas fans that are saying, oh, this is karma. You guys made fun, or you were happy that Tony Romo got hurt and we had to have old man Whedon come play for us. That's karma biting you in your ass. You gotta play with your backup quarterback now. Dumb fucks. Nick Foles led the league in turnovers this year. Dumb fucks. Nick Foles had the second worst quarterback rating of all the quarterbacks in the league this year. How the fuck can you say it is bad to lose a quarterback like Nick Foles this year? A guy that has constantly been regressing all season. A guy that really doesn't help your chances of winning. Oh, you got Mr. Butt Fumble. Mr. Butt Fumble at his worst was not as bad as what Nick Foles looked like this year. If we get the Mark Sanchez, the touchdown interception that's equal ratio, it's no worse than what we had. In fact, it's better. Say it, dumb fucks. Losing Nick Foles isn't really something that you should be rubbing our faces. Losing DeMeco Ryans, now that's something that's going to cost the Eagles games, but we'll get into that later on in the week when I do my Eagles rundown. Anyway, let's just face facts here in Philadelphia. Nick Foles is not wanted by Chip Kelly. That's just the stone cold facts of the matter. And I don't care if I think Nick Foles is going to be the next Joe Montana. It doesn't fucking matter. Chip Kelly does not like him. And if your coach, your head coach, does not like the quarterback, you can't want that quarterback to stay here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You gotta let him go. You gotta let him go. If the coach doesn't like the quarterback, you gotta move on from him. He may end up burning our asses and winning somewhere else. Because I think he's a solid quarterback. Do I think he's good enough to keep his job this year on this team? Fuck no, he fucking blows this year. But the potential is obviously there. The bottom line is Chip Kelly doesn't see that potential and doesn't want to see that potential. Doesn't even want to try. And for that very reason, he's got to go. Anyway, let's go into our Week 9 review. Well, we started off with a bang. The worst road team in the NFL went to Carolina and won. New Orleans is playing shit football on the road this year and leave it to the Carolina Icicles to play the most ice-cold football and let New Orleans just take over the NFC South. This is the team we have to play on Monday Night Football. I don't like the fact that Carolina's playing so bad. That doesn't really raise my confidence in the Eagles' chances, but we'll get to that in the breakdown. Anyway, Tampa Bay losing to the Cleveland Brownies. The Cleveland Brownies could be sitting on top of that AFC North right now, but they fucked up on their little 3-game stretch here that they could have just went bang, bang, bang against 3 suck-ass teams. They end up giving the hapless Jags their first win of the season. God damn it, Brownies, man. What the fuck? Arizona beating the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, back-to-back home losses for Dallas. Old Josh Whedon, old man Whedon at quarterback. Shango said this, I think Shango summarized this the best, in that Dallas is in a position where they are so fucked, very potentially fucked, in that they got that young, impressive offensive line, but they're relying on the fact that Tony Romo has to stay healthy because that gives their best chance of winning games. As Shango said, Whedon is Whedon. You can't really like or hate him. He's playing no better or worse than what you expect out of him. He's a touchdown for interception type guy. He gives you a touchdown, he's going to give you an interception. And there's obviously no future with them with Whedon. He's a backup quarterback that's good for a few games. And as Shango said, you know, they could have went after in the draft a young quarterback to groom, to play a few years on the bench while Romo, you know, finishes out his career. Instead, you have a team that's won way too many games to get a good draft pick coming up next year. You got that young offensive line, and you just got a team that has no real hope for the future unless they pick someone that's like a complete shot in the dark and ends up being like Tom Brady that gets picked in the 5,000th round. Dallas is in quite a predicament. Fuck them! Anyway, Arizona. Now, a lot of Arizona fans don't like the fact that I don't give the Arizona Cardinals respect. And that is, I don't see them as the real deal. I see their record, I get that, and they're winning games. Props to them. They're a good team, they're a playoff team. You'd be an ass to deny that. But I see a team with Carson Palmer as their quarterback, and I see a guy in Carson Palmer that has never had success in this league, that has been thrown out by so many teams. Teams just saying, we don't want you anymore. Go away. Now, granted, this is the best defense Carson Palmer's had on a team that he's played for. And this is a good Arizona Cardinals defense. However, a defense alone isn't enough to win games. And you have to rely on the offense scoring points and being able to score points with a team that can score a lot of points. Now, I know people are going to be like, well, your Eagles can score a lot of points, and obviously they beat the Eagles a couple weeks ago. I know it may sound bitter to say this, but that was a lottery ticket win. Now, granted, our secondary sucks here in Philly. I know that, and Arizona Cardinals fans are going to be like, oh, we won fair and square, and you did win fair and square. The point I'm trying to say is Arizona cannot rely on what happened in that Philadelphia Eagles game, which is the secondary getting burnt on 2 long bomb lottery ticket passes when both Brown and Fitzgerald got those 2 long bomb touchdowns. You can't rely on that shit to push through the playoffs, to push through to the Super Bowl, or to beat a team like if like a Patriots team or a Broncos team came out of the AFC. You would never beat a team like that. You would never be able to keep up scoring with them. You're not good enough to shut down someone like Gronk. You're not good enough to shut down someone like Peyton Manning on defense. You're a very good defense. But see, the thing is, I don't see them as that next level team. I see their record, I see their winning games, and frankly, they don't fucking impress me. And it just came raining true when Denver blew their fucking doors off. They don't have enough points to score with a team like that, and a team like that that's good enough on defense to keep them from scoring won't let them score many points. Anyway, I'm sorry, Cardinals fans, but I'm not a believer in you. Not that you should really give a fuck, because I wouldn't care if someone else's fan isn't a believer in my team. So, I mean, you know, I know enough to say that, but personally, I don't see them as the real deal. And frankly, I see them getting bounced out in the divisional round. If Seattle comes out of their division, I think they're going to kick their ass in the playoffs if they face them in the divisional round. The Cardinals will probably get a bye. Seattle will win a wild card round game and then go on to face the Cardinals and fuck their ass up. The Super Bowl's in your house this year, though, Arizona. You could use that for extra motivation. But who knows? Let's just let this season play out. Anyway, the Jets lost to Kansas City, and I thought I got my prediction wrong because I thought Rex Ryan would get fired after this game, but that didn't come true. Geno Smith and Michael Vick have both proven that they suck ass as quarterbacks. Probably going to go after Mariota in the draft now. Jesus Christ. And the one thing that's going to make this Jets team look even worse is the success of Mark Sanchez. I have Jets fans sending me messages saying they are hardcore rooting for the Eagles right now just because Mark Sanchez's success is such a fuck you to Rex Ryan, the ownership, and everyone that has let this Jets team get to where it's at right now. Would have thought I'd seen the day that Jets fans are just overwhelmingly rooting for the Eagles. Anyways, that's just fucking surreal. But yeah, that is true. If Mark Sanchez has any sort of level of success here in Philadelphia, it's going to make that Jets team look fucking terrible, especially if it looks like he can excel in a team that puts offense before defense, which is what you have here in Philadelphia. It's a very offensive first type team, whereas the Jets were a very defensive-minded first type team with a defensive-minded coach like Rex Ryan. 95% of the time, they went after the big defensive stud player to put on that team, to solidify that team to be a shutdown, lockdown type team. But it never worked out. And to that, I would say to all the critics of Mark Sanchez and everyone that's laughing at the Eagles, let's just wait and see what he does on a team that's geared for offense, as opposed to what we saw him do in New York that's geared for defense. I'll be the first to rip Mark Sanchez if he puts up shit numbers. Don't worry about that. Anyway, let's just see what we shall see. Cincinnati beats Jacksonville. Nothing really to say about that. Miami beating San Diego. Not only beating them, but shutting them out. San Diego, what happened? Wasn't this team 4-1 at one point? You get shut out by the Dolphins? And on top of that, Dolphins are playing good football as of late. What is going on this year? Anyway, just very interesting. I didn't see that coming by a fucking mile. Not a shutout. Phillip Rivers, I thought, was finally clicking again this year, and yikes. Minnesota beating the Washington Redskins. Yeah. Alright. St. Louis beat San Francisco. This was probably the most atrocious, most numerous, blown fucking call game I have ever seen. Now, I'm the last one to stick up for San Francisco and anything, but I have fucking eyes and ears, and I can see and hear just fine. Sorry, I went blind there for a second. Anyway. Alright, now, I know the whole fumble and the end of the game and the touchdowns that weren't touchdowns because the ball didn't cross the line, apparently. The most atrocious call that I saw in this game was at the end of the half where Austin fields the field goal, and if you miss a field goal or the field goal lands inbounds, you have a chance to return it. And Austin takes the ball, runs out of the end zone, runs back in the end zone, and is tackled clearly in the end zone, which is a safety. Now, I may not have professional experience playing football or anything, but I know what a fucking safety is. And Harbaugh's talking to the refs like, what do you mean? Forward progress? They're giving it to him as forward progress? That was the most atrocious fucking call I have seen in my life. And those 2 points mattered near the end of the game. Anyway, fuck, man. I feel bad for San Francisco because they're playing 500 ball right now. And they shouldn't have lost this game. And it sucks because they might lose a playoff spot just because of this shit. I know they're getting a lot of keys back on defense, but man, a lot of key pieces back on defense. That fucking blows, especially a divisional loss at that. That's gonna be fucking huge. And anyways, I hate the Niners, but fuck, man, they didn't deserve that shit. Denver at New England. The New England Patriots are the best team in the NFL right now. It hurt me enough to say that. I promised you last week I would say that whoever came out winning this game, and I thought it was going to be Denver. I really did. Not to mention the fact that it was just a complete and utter domination by New England. Let's face it. Peyton Manning is Tom Brady's bitch. 10-5 in head-to-head matchups. Brady with the advantage over Manning. 3 Super Bowl rings versus 1. Anyway, New England Patriots are the best team in football right now. All right, I can only say it so many more times before I vomit. And, you know, you very rarely, I couldn't even tell you the last time that a tight end, if ever, has won MVP in the league. But how can you argue that Gronkowski is not the most dominant player in the league? He might not be the best absolute player, but for his position and the way he dominates, Gronkowski is hands down the best player in this league. I don't see how you can argue against it. He cannot be fucking stopped. Anyway, and he proved that against that Denver team. My God. Oakland at Seattle. Seattle wins. Barely. I wanted to see Seattle have a convincing win this week, but man, that was a pretty flat win against a very, very bad football team. Anyway, Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Fucking hell. I can't call this Pittsburgh Steelers team a group of has-beens anymore. Because that's back-to-back weeks of some of the most impressive fucking football you're ever going to see. When did Joe Montana become the quarterback of the fucking Steelers? Holy shit! Roethlisberger with 12 touchdowns in 2 weeks? The fuck? Fuck! What? The fuck? Where did that come from? It's hard to say that's a fucking fluke, but man. How the fuck did this Steelers team lose to the Brownies and the Buccaneers? How? The fuck? And to end the week, Indianapolis kicked the New York Giants' doors in. Week 10 preview. Let's get off to the bang with this. Starting off the week, a nice division matchup. Cincinnati versus Cleveland in Cincinnati. Cleveland, this is your chance to take over first place. Take it. It's hanging right there. It's hanging right there. You can take it, Brownies. Just take it. Thursday Night Football is quirky, and it doesn't have any sort of rhyme or reason for 90% of the time. Take the fucking win in Cincinnati. Stake your claim, and just fucking win Cincinnati. Or Cleveland. Anyways, I'm predicting Cincinnati to win this game. But I'm rooting for you, Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland. You're not the better team. Kansas City at Buffalo. Look for Kansas City to win, and look for Kansas City to finally start turning some heads. But granted, Buffalo isn't exactly playing terrible football right now. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Who knows. Look for Kansas City to win. And Kansas City's that kind of team. They're like, hey, we're over here too. Anyone want to give us any attention? Remember when we kicked the shit out of the Patriots on Monday Night Football? No, you forgot about that because the Patriots played good ever since then? Oh. Anyway. Look for Kansas City to win. Miami at Detroit. Who would have thought that this Week 10 matchup would have been a clash of the Titans? Anyway, whoever wins this whoever wins this game is going to make the playoffs. Now, granted, both teams may end up making the playoffs, but if Miami wins this game, they're going to get a wild card berth. And if Detroit wins this game, they're going to get a wild card berth, potentially win the NFC North, which they very well may do. They're playing goddamn good football with guys out left and right. Fuck, they're doing their thing. Anyway, Dallas at Jacksonville. Well, in London. Dallas is going to win this game. I don't care if Tony Romo's playing or not. Dallas is going to win this game. But I'll tell you right now, and I want to talk to the Eagles fans out there. Be careful what you say. Because if Dallas loses to Jacksonville, I ain't saying a fucking word. Because what happened 2 weeks ago? Every Dallas fan was spouting off out the ass when the Cardinals beat the Eagles. And Dallas was primed to take a commanding lead in the NFC East. Because they had to play the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. And what happened? The dead last Redskins whooped that Cowboy ass. All those Dallas fans before that, they were pointing and laughing at the Eagles for losing. Because face it was a gimme win for the Cowboys. Monday Night Football, they're home in Dallas, in wherever, Arlington, wherever the fuck that ridiculous Jerry World Stadium's at. I'm not saying a fucking word. If Jacksonville wins this game, I'm not saying a fucking word till the final second ticks off the clock on Monday Night Football. Anyway, Dallas is going to win that game. That's my prediction anyway. San Francisco at New Orleans. San Francisco is at must-win time right now. New Orleans is at home. I know New Orleans is a very good team. But man, San Francisco is going to find a way to win this game. They have to. Predicting San Francisco to win. Tennessee at Baltimore. Who gives a shit? Baltimore's going to kick the fucking tar out of them. Pittsburgh at the New York Jets. Oh, god damn. Oh, dude, the Jets have all the luck in the world or what? My god. They gotta face the red hottest team in football right now. Oh, it's going to be glorious. They're going to get the shit kicked out of them. Look for Pittsburgh to win by at least 65 points. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Whatever. Atlanta wins. That's a who gives a shit matchup of the week. Denver at Oakland. I got Oakland winning at home. You got a problem with that? Yeah, that's what I got. St. Louis at Arizona. Arizona. Don't worry, 49ers. Arizona's going to extract some revenge against that St. Louis team that didn't deserve to beat the 49ers last week. New York Giants at Seattle. I think this is honestly a coin flip game the way Seattle's been playing, but I still look to see Seattle win at home. Chicago at Green Bay. Got this for fucking Sunday Night Football? Jesus Christ, I guess I'm going to bed early Sunday night. I don't know. I guess there's always a chance Chicago can win, but let's face it, Green Bay, and they're at Lambeau. Green Bay's going to win. And Carolina at Philadelphia, I'll give you my pick later on this weekend. Might be doing a live show Monday night for the game, so just, you'll see me broadcasting here. If I am, I am. If not, I'm not. Anyway, go Eagles, and I'm holding out hope for Mark Sanchez. But realistically, I know he's not that good of a quarterback. But you know what? I want to see what he does on a team that's geared for offense, like I said earlier. Anyways, have a good day, everyone. Let's enjoy some fucking football and fuck the Dallas Cowboys. That is all.